How you doing? I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Today I wanted to talk about fear killing more dreams than failure ever will. Recently I've gone to the dentist for the first time in about 8 or 9 years, and it's all because of fear. I had this deep down fear of going to the dentist, and there's a few different aspects to this, right? One of the aspects is obviously the pain. Another aspect was the longer I left it, the more I feared how much money it was going to cost, right? What the bill was going to be at the end of the day. That put the fear of God into me, Another fear was just about the dentist themselves. I've been to a few dentists in my time, and the first appearance I had at a dentist was when I was 17, and I had a sort of a natural appetite for sweets, and in particular this form of soft jelly sweets when I was growing up. Chewing jelly stuff, and it caused a lot of problems in my teeth. And I went to a dental hospital. It was a place where students learned and practiced on you because that was the cheapest place to go to. I think at the time I'm not sure if I was on a medical card or something in Ireland, and that was the only place that I could go to. Anyway, they took out 4 teeth at the same time, 2 from either side of my mouth. So you can imagine the pain and the suffering that I went through at that early age. And basically I was butchered, and that put a really bad view on dentists from the get-go. And I think my wife convinced me then to go, and I needed some problems sorting out when I was in my mid-20s, and I went back then, went through a whole rake of different things, and actually had a good dentist there who did me proud, did me really well, did a good job. And it's never nice to get the needle or anything like that. It's never nice to feel that drill or anything. But anyway, the final dentist I went to over in Ireland, as I say, about 8 or 9 years ago, he was more interested in talking about himself and his new car and his golf swing and his life, and just bullshit stuff that I didn't need to know and stuff that I didn't want to know. When you're sat in a dentist chair, I mean, it's all right trying to distract somebody, but please distract them with something that is interesting. And he was a bit of a sham artist himself, and caused me a bit of pain, and left some problems that I had in my teeth that I've still got nowadays. So anyway, one of my things to do is to look at positive videos almost every day, and I troll through. I've downloaded a lot of different positivity courses and just listen to a lot of different people from all walks of life, talking about positive things and how to look at things positively, how to deal with life. As I say, it all boils down to what you do in your brain. What you think in your head is going to eventually come out into your actions and your behaviors and your habits. It's going to really dictate who you are as a person, right? Positive thinking and negative thinking, these are 2 sides of the same coin, right? And they also become a habit. You can become habitually an habitually positive thinker or an habitually negative thinker. Anyway, I came across a video from the actor and comedian Will Smith, who was talking about doing skydiving for the first time, and he'd arranged it with his friends, and he said the fear of God took over him, and he just didn't know what to do. Anyway, I'll let you look at this clip. That's the best thing to do because he can explain this and he can say it a lot better than I can. I'll talk to you in a minute.
3 years ago, I went skydiving in Dubai, right? And skydiving is a really interesting confront with fear, right? So I gotta stand up. I'm sorry, I gotta stand up. All right. So all your friends, what happens? You go out. I dropped my thing. Yeah. So what happens is you go out the night before and you take a drink with your friends and somebody says, "Yeah, we should go skydiving tomorrow." And you go, "Yeah, we'll go skydiving tomorrow." Yeah. And you go, "Yeah." And everybody goes, "Yeah." Right? And you go home and you by yourself, you're like, Right? And you're like, well, I mean, they was drunk too. Right? So maybe they not, maybe, I mean, we don't have to go. We don't have to do it. So then that night you're laying in your bed and you just keep, and you're terrified. You keep imagining over and over again jumping out of an airplane and you can't figure out why you would do that, right? And you're laying there and you have the worst night's sleep of your life, but you still have the hope that your friends were drunk, right? So you wake up the next day and you go, down and you say where you were going to meet and everybody's there. You're like, oh, all right, cool, right? So you get in the van and you don't know that your friends had the same night that you had because they're pretending like they didn't. They're like, yeah, man, my uncle's a Navy SEAL and, this is going to be great. I've been looking forward to this. And you're like, oh, my God. And your stomach is terrible. You can't eat and everything, but you don't want to be the only punk who doesn't jump out of this airplane. So you get there and then you have this safety brief. And you're standing there, and the guys would say, well, if the chute doesn't open, what's going to happen is why the hell, what could happen? That the chute wouldn't open, right? So you do a thing, and what you do is your first jump, you're attached to a guy who is going, he's going to walk you out. So you go, and you get there, and there's an airplane, and nobody's stopping. Everybody's still going. So you get onto the airplane, and you're sitting there, and it's extra because you're sitting on some dude's lap, some stranger. You're sitting on his lap, and it's like, you trying to make small talk. Yeah, man. So you be jumping with people all the time, huh? Right? So, and then you just want to make sure, you got kids, right? You got people you need to see, right? You just want to make sure he's serious, right? So you get in there. So everything's normal. So you fly and you go up to 14,000 feet, and you notice there's a light. It's red, and it's yellow and green, right? So right now the light's red. So then you start thinking at some point the light's going to go green, but you don't know what's going to happen, right? And you wait, and it goes yellow, and the light goes green, and somebody opens the door, and in that moment you realize you've never been in a freaking airplane with the door open. Right? Terror. Oh, sorry, I'm spitting. Oh, sorry. No, terror. Right? So you go, and then, if you were smart, you sat in the back so you don't go first, right? And then people start going out of the airplane. And you go, and the guy walks you up to the end of the thing, and you're standing, and your toes are on the edge, and you're looking out down to death. And they say, on 3. And they say, 1, 2, and he pushes you on 2 because people grab on 3, right? Right? And you go, and you fall out of the airplane, and in 1 second, you realize that it's the most blissful experience of your life. You're flying, right? It doesn't feel like falling, right? It's like you actually are kind of held a little bit by the wind, and then you start falling, and there's zero fear. You realize that the point of maximum danger is the point of minimum fear. It's bliss. It's bliss, and you're flying, right? And you're doing that, and then 20 seconds, 25 seconds, 40 seconds, and you have enough time to just kind of be like, oh, that's that building. I like that one. Oh, you can see the ocean. right? You start doing all of that. And the lesson for me was, why were you scared in your bed the night before? What do you need that fear for? Just don't go. Why are you scared in your bed 16 hours before you jump? Why are you scared in the car? Why could you not enjoy breakfast? What did you need that? The fear is fear of what? You're nowhere even near the airplane. Everything up to the stepping out, there's actually no reason to be scared. It only just ruins your day. You don't have to jump. And then in that moment, all of a sudden, where you should be terrified is the most blissful experience of your life. And God placed the best things in life on the other side of terror. On the other side of your maximum fear are all of the best things in life. You know. Mm-hmm. So that was my experience with skydiving and fear. All right.
So he's such a great way of putting things. And after watching that video, it's very true. No matter what part of your life you adapt this type of thinking to, fear is 99% in your head. It's 99% what you make it. And most of the time, fear is completely unfounded. That, as he said, on the other side of fear, that's where he puts it, as God puts it on the other side. I say, it's. Once you overcome your fear, then that's where you're going to find the best moments in your life is on the other side of that fear. But getting back to the dentist, I had an appointment after I'd seen this video, and I was afraid of going there. When you make an appointment 2 weeks out, it's very easy to sort of go, yeah, I'm not scared. It's 2 weeks away, But as the day gets closer and closer, then the fear starts to creep in. But luckily enough, I watched this video maybe about 10 days before the appointment was due. And I knew what the appointment was because I'd already been to the dentist for a checkup, and I knew nothing was going to happen in the checkup. It was only going to be, they were going to break the news to me, which was once they told me how much work I needed doing, that sort of scared me and allayed the fear all at once. So, there's extensive work that I need doing, and I'm sort of in a position now where I can get it done. So I'm not too worried about it from that perspective. It's actually a lot cheaper, a lot than I thought it was going to be. So, as I say, not too bad. But then I had the appointment for the first 2 fill-ins. So basically I had 2 fill-ins on the top of one side, one on the bottom. So 2 fill-ins at the top here, one at the bottom here, one fill-in back here somewhere, and then a whole lot of work being done on the front of my mouth. There's some teeth that have to be sorted out. There's a couple of crowns in there that just have to be changed, and then I'm going to get another couple of crowns just to sort it all out, and it's something that I've wanted to do for a long time, but I just haven't either had the courage to do it or the finances to do it. But I'm in a position where I can do it now, so I'm going to get it done. But anyway, back to the video. Just what he said about that, all the time that he spent worrying and in fear of that time, all the worry until he actually jumped out of that plane was useless, right? There was no point in fearing it because there was nothing to fear. And once he made the leap and jumped out of the plane, or was pushed out of the plane by his instructor, that's when he suddenly realized that this was one of the best things that he'd ever done in his life. So I know the dentist is it's not like skydiving, but it's a similar sort of a fear. It's a fear of something that is going to cause you pain. Any fear, however irrational, can be blown out of all proportion if you allow it to be, right? So I took his advice and I thought to myself, there is nothing to fear going forward now in these moments until I actually sit down there and she gets the needle and starts to stick it into my face, right? So I decided what was I going to do once I got to that moment, how was I going to overcome that fear? Because I knew the fear would get me then, you know. And I thought to myself, right, what I can do is distract my mind, use some of the techniques that I know work. One of them is distraction. So I lined up a couple of funny podcasts that I listened to by a couple of comedians, and I asked the dentist whether I could, whether she wouldn't mind if I listened to the podcast. She said no worries. I mean, she said it straight away, so she obviously understands that aspect of it. You know, she does it for a living after all. And before I was going in there, I was breathing, and I said to myself, right, this is what I've got to do in there where I'm lying on the chair. Don't tense, relax and breathe. And it sailed through. I mean, it's not the nicest thing to have anything working on your teeth, but it's not, you know, it's nothing to be feared about. I mean, nothing's going to happen to you, you know. I mean, the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to have a little bit of temporary discomfort, pain. You know, the discomfort is the needle going in, but that needle is going in to help you, you know, to numb the area so you don't feel more pain later on, or you feel the minimum amount of pain and discomfort, right? There is going to be discomfort, but like anything else in life, that discomfort is going to pass. You know, the discomfort will pass. The pain is only momentary, you know, and you get out and you have that stupid feeling in your mouth where it's all numb and you're sort of like, you know, but, you know, after that it's gone. So, you know, one of the things that I talk about a lot in Alcohol Mastery, part of the philosophy is to stay in the moment, to understand where you are, to figure out what it is that you're going to do the next in order to have a good moment the next time, you know, for the next moment, and so on and so forth. So you're making more of your essential moments, that the only place that you can do something about anything in your life is right now in the moment, right? But at certain times in your life, you've got to look beyond the moment, right? You've got to sort of see things how they're going to be, you know, in the sense of cravings. You've got to have a look at your cravings and think, well, this craving is not going to last, you know, this discomfort that I'm feeling now is not going to last. And that's exactly what I did in those circumstances, right? I just looked at this pain and discomfort that I knew was going to come up, knew it was only going to last for what, at most an hour for 2 fill-ins, and it wasn't even that. I think it was about 40 minutes, and you know, the actual discomfort part of it was only a short period of time, you know, when you're actually feeling the pain and stuff. So anyway, it's just another part of it where I'm starting to I'm looking at things from a different perspective and trying to figure out ways of dealing with different parts of my life, and this was only possible because I stopped drinking alcohol in the first place. And you know, one thing leads to another. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there. If you have any questions at all, leave them down below in the comments. Until next time, I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Take care of yourself. Come on over to Alcohol Mastery website where you can sign up for our Alcohol Mastery Starter Pack. It's absolutely free. A few different video courses and books there. Take care of yourself. Keep the alcohol out of your mouth. Onwards and upwards. Take care. Bye now.